That face that is usually covered by her phone has finally made an appearance. That face wouldn't be doing that if you weren't staying at a Verbo Lake House. Your together awaits. Find it with Verbo.
started recording it? Wait, why?
Okay. Isabella, you're gonna start.
Wait. Wait, can you stand on that black tape?
This one?
No, that one.
This one.
That's good, but it's like too dim.
Yeah, this screen. We need the screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, it's fine. Rose is in it.
Oh, darn. Tell me when I'm not.
Oh, okay.
We're being broadcasted to.
Wait, live on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, hey guys.
Can we start? Am I still in it?
Yes, you are. There we go. Wait, why would you turn those lights on?
Because it's.
But then
Turn
you'll
off
be
the
listening to
lights?
Bella.
They'll see it.
Okay.
These
Are you
lights are on.
okay? Are you guys good with the lights off? Okay, guess we're turning them off.
Yeah,
Turn
yeah,
them
yeah.
off. Yeah, I think that's better.
That's a lot better.
Well, hey guys, welcome to our February meeting. And so we're gonna start off with just some reminders. And so first thing is, if you haven't had a chance already, please sign your name on a paper that should be around here somewhere if you haven't already, to mark for your attendance. And so we're just basically going to talk about some new opportunities for February, and once we get that done, we'll go into our guest speaking event. And first, I would just like to congratulate our state qualification test SOC qualifiers, and to start, Dio Elamar for placing first in regional for dental science.
Woo!
And then me, Isabella No, for placing first in biomedical laboratory and medical assisting, and second home health aid.
Yay!
Next, we have Lucy Zhao for placing first in pathophysiology and nutrition. Then we have Alia Akhtar for placing fourth in medical math. And last but not least, Gemma Nesway for placing second medical math and third for medical terminology. Then we would go over to Rose.
Okay, nothing much to say, but next week there will be a Kahoot after school in Miss Olson's room on Wednesday. You can join virtually or you can come into her room. And yeah, it shouldn't take more than probably 20 minutes. So yeah, come in that and you get credits for attending, and then more credits also if you win.
And it's going to cover like HOSA Bowl and like some medical terminology and stuff of that nature.
Okay, hey guys. So as you all know, last month, we had a really successful meeting. We had a few panelists come in and they spoke to us. And these are all either like current or former dental, PT, medical students. A lot of those students are either current or former students at Augusta University. And because of that, this really great opportunity has arisen. AU currently has this organization where they're trying to foster connections between their students, like their medical students, and high school students interested in the medical field. Because of that, next month for our meeting, they're going to actually come in and join us for our meeting. What we're going to do is they're going to run us through different simulations. They're going to act like different patients are coming into the emergency room. We're going to be split up into different groups, and they're going to walk us through what to look for, how to diagnose somebody, what you do with that diagnosis, and it'll be a lot like us getting a really small glimpse of what they actually do as medical students, which will be really cool. Along with that, since we're in small groups with them, you guys will have like a lot of one-on-one time with them, so you'll get to ask them like any questions that you have or like any comments, which will also be really cool. I highly recommend you all going. Along with that, that meeting will be in March. The end of March is when we're going to have our deadline for credits. So if you're a senior and you're wanting to become meritorious for NTHS, or if you're just a HOSA member and you want to be able to earn awards or be eligible for our banquet at the end of the year, that'll be one of your final credit opportunities, so I highly recommend you all going.
everyone. Thank you to all of those who participated in our Chick-fil-A Spirit Night the other week. Because of that, we managed to raise a little over $100 for Be the Match, which is amazing. Thank you to everybody who participated in that. Regarding our banquet, as you guys may or may not remember, you're going to need to hit a certain number of credits to attend this banquet at the end of the year. If you're not in NTHS and you're just in HOSA. And we've decided that you're going to need at least 25 credits to attend this. And if you get 30 credits or more, you're going to have a special recognition as well. Okay, Gemma.
Hey guys, so from today and then into March, we're gonna have a new credit opportunity, and it's gonna be surrounding bracelet making. So from today till March 3rd, we're doing a drive where you can get supplies and put them in a box right outside Ms. Gosney's room, and you can get a lot of credits from that. And then we're gonna have an event on March 8th where you make the bracelets. And then from March 8th till March 29th, you can sell the bracelets we make. And all of this is a lot of credits, so you should participate, especially if you want to be meritorious in NTHS, and if you need credits for HOSA in general. And all the money we make from all these bracelets is going to go to the pediatric units in St. Jude and AU. So it's going for a good cause, so we highly recommend you participate to get your credits as well as support the good cause. And right now we're going to have 2 HOSA state officers talk to us, and we hope you listen and learn some things from them.
And so now you guys can proceed.
Great. Hey everyone. Thank you, first of all, Isabella, for inviting us. We really appreciate having the opportunity to speak to chapters and to speak to members. We can't really see you guys, but we're going to imagine some people playing in the classroom. But once again, thank you so much for having us. So for the sake of formality, hopefully you guys know who we are from their names. But just to introduce ourselves, I'll start off. My name is Rima Chande, currently serve as your Georgia HOSA President-elect. I'm from North Gwinnett High School in Sewanee, Georgia. Okay. Yeah, so my name is Rima Chande from North Gwinnett High School. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having us.
Okay, and hopefully I'm not muted. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Perfect. I'm James Wilson. I'm your state vice president. I'm from the Newton College and Career Academy in Covington, Georgia. I really, really, really wanted to actually be the officer that came in person, but something popped up. But I'm just so glad that y'all invited us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so what we're going to discuss today was a lot of what Isabella requested that she wanted to hear and what chapter members were interested in. So we're kind of going to be presenting in 3 parts today. So it's really going to be more of a casual discussion between James and I. If you have any questions at any point, just chime in and speak up so that we can hear you through the computer. So just interrupt us. We want this to flow like a conversation rather than like a presentation. We don't have a PowerPoint or anything. It's more of a fluid type of model. So we're going to talk about 3 major things today. The first of which is SLC tips, because that's really a big thing on all of our minds, is our competitions, what we're doing at SLC, and how we can be successful at SLC. Then we're going to discuss a little bit about Be the Match, which I heard you guys talk a bit about during your chapter meeting and how much money you guys have raised, which is really great. So you're already off to a good start. And then to sum it all up, James is going to give you a brief rundown of the different opportunities that HOSA provides you and how you can maximize the potential that HOSA allows you to pursue in all of these different opportunities. So, just to begin, we're going to go ahead and talk about some SLC tips. So James, do you want to give maybe one single most important piece of advice going into SLC?
Going into SLC, I would just say, regardless of what you're there to do, remember that the entire point of SLC is to provide you with opportunity. So take advantage of as many opportunities as you can. The industry leaders that are going to be there, the exhibitors, network with them. You know, bring a business card if you have one. Talk to people. Really get yourself out there. You're going to have the opportunity to go to workshops. And even though it seems like you're taking another class, that's really another opportunity for you to gain new knowledge, see a new career field. There are a lot of opportunities in these different workshops. So just remember that the whole point of SLC is not necessarily to compete. That is a big part of it, and we do want you to come prepared to compete. But also remember that there are a lot of other opportunities, and as many of them as you can, take advantage of these opportunities, whether you're virtual or in person.
So just to kind of guide the way that we discussed this today, is Lakeside attending SLC in person or virtual or some type of hybrid?
It's virtual.
Virtual? Okay, so you guys still have a lot of different opportunities, and I'm really glad that we get to speak to a chapter that's doing it virtually. So because you guys already have nailed down a pretty good setup to do meetings in a socially distanced way, you're all wearing masks, you have the opportunity to simulate as much of an in-person feel for this conference as possible. So we would just recommend that going into SLC, you put a focus on not only excelling at your competitions, but striving to develop that same conference energy that you would get if you were, taking a bus down to the hotel or, carpooling with parents or chaperones down to the Marriott and, sitting in a big room full of HOSA members from other chapters, trying to kind of make sure that you're all together to watch the streams and to watch opening ceremony, to watch awards and celebrate together. It makes it a lot better of an experience than just sitting on your couch watching it on your TV, just, celebrating for yourself when you see one of your chapter's members, get an award or get recognized for a competition. So the State Executive Council has worked hard to make sure that our workshops and our presentations during the opening and closing recognition session are all super energetic and lively and make the virtual participants feel just as welcome as in-person ones. So we really hope that you enjoy SLC as much as you did in person in previous years, even though it is a little different. So I would also say that just because it's virtual, don't forget to attend the different opportunities like James was saying, in the time that you have between your event and between, major, sessions. So I know that a lot of people at ILC last year, they went to the opening session, they went to the competition, and then they went to the award session, and then they didn't look at anything else. And they missed out. Honestly, they missed out on so many different opportunities that ILC presented, whether that was workshops from the International Council or just fun activities. Like, we're still having a HOSA activity night, so that'll be an opportunity that you can do virtually to kind of still interact with members of different chapters, because that's something that you're missing out on as a virtual participant. So our tip mainly for SLC is to make sure that you're making the most of the opportunities presented. And I think with the platform on SLC, you get a lot of different leadership resources that you can use within your chapter in future meetings. So definitely be curious, search around the platform. There are tons of different things to find. So we really hope that SLC is an enjoyable experience. And I guess in terms of competition specifically, James, do you have a tip for, success within competition?
Right, so with your competitive event, there are so many of them, and they're all so different, but the biggest thing that I can really stress to you is the importance of you being prepared. Every single year, you can really tell who's prepared, and really, are you smoking something? I'm like, what is that? I'm like, what are you doing? Okay, good, okay. Yeah, I can really stress to you the importance of being prepared. If you're not prepared, it's going to be very clear, no matter what your event is, whether you're taking a test, whether you're giving a speech or a mock interview or job interviewing skills, whether you're, doing an actual, like a CPR kind of event, host a poll, biomedical debate, whatever you're doing, it's very important that you be prepared. And there are so many different ways to prepare yourself. So many people think the only thing that I can do is make a Quizlet. You can take a mock test. You can work together with your friends, who aren't even in HOSA. They can give you a mock exam. You can work with your advisors. Your advisors have a wealth of knowledge on some of these competitive events, because a lot of, like, I know my advisor, she worked in nursing assistant. So we always have people who go and compete in nursing assistant because we have an advisor who did it and really is a wealth of knowledge. So my biggest tip to you is come prepared and come knowing that you're competing against other people who are also very prepared. So your goal is to be the most prepared. That's my tip.
Yeah. So obviously, with competitive events, our major goal with everything that we do is to make sure that you guys are getting the skills that you need to be prepared future health professionals. So what my advice would be is to not get too competitive, to take everything with a grain of salt. If this is your first time in a competition, you might not get the result that makes you the most happy. You might not get first place in that category, but if you take something away from that experience that's valuable, if you learn from it, then you're doing what we want you to do with the competition. So as long as you kind of look at what career skill set your competition is intended to impart for you, then that's really garnering the most value out of your competition as possible. Because let's take biomedical debate, for example. If you're someone who's interested in, a career in politics, not everyone in HOSA is specifically interested in a healthcare career, but a lot of the skills that these competitions give you can help you in careers outside of the healthcare field. So a lot of the times people who are in politics, they deal with bills and policies related to healthcare. So being able to debate different major healthcare issues, such as in a competition like biomedical debate, you have the opportunity to sharpen those communication skills, which are applied to so many different things. So I would say focus on the skills of it rather than the competitive nature of it. Of course, it's a fun thing to be able to win, but if you're getting the most skills and knowledge out of it, you're really winning.
And I also wanted to say don't let your experience be a lost one. A lot of people compete in their competitive event, and then if they don't place, they throw it away. Your event is really a resume builder. When you're applying to colleges or scholarships or whatever you may be doing, when you put on your resume, I've competed in the same event 4 times. The first 2 times I didn't place, the last 2 I did, or I've competed in a different event every year. They want to see that because in these events, you're gaining skills. Whether you place or not, you're going to gain skills and you're going to learn something. So don't let it be a lost experience. You're still gaining something even if you don't place. And it's very important. Put these things on your resume. I was just talking to the hospital in my area, Piedmont Newton, and they have an internship and a scholarship. And I was asking the director, what are some things that we can do to help our members polish up their resume? And they said, we want to see what they're doing in HOSA. Because if they're in HOSA, clearly they're gaining skills in healthcare. Clearly they're learning things. So if they're volunteering with HOSA, if they're competing with HOSA, we want to know. So don't let your event be a lost experience.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know how many of you are seniors that we're speaking to, but regardless of what grade you're in, once you start filling out the Common App on your college applications, the Common App is the largest one that most people use. There's also the Coalition application, but each of them require you to put a description on the activities and the honors that you've gotten. So I've listed my HOSA competition awards under my honors, and they give you a certain amount of characters to describe the competition. So it's important to have a knowledge of, what obstacles you faced during the process of preparing, how you overcame them, and what you took away from it, because that's really what college is doing.
I totally agree. Just remember, don't let it be a lost experience.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So that kind of sums up our tips for SLC. Do you guys have any questions about SLC, what it's going to look like, how you can prepare, literally anything?
What events have you guys done in the past?
James, do you want to talk about yours?
Sure. So I did research persuasive writing. I did job seeking skills, and then last year I did public speaking. I don't remember the exact name of the event, but they gave me a topic and I had to speak on it. I don't know how I forgot the name of my own event, and I placed in it too. Quarantine was crazy. I can't remember anything anymore. But my first 2 events I didn't place, but my last event I did place. I think I was 7. I was number 7. But the thing is, persuasive writing, public speaking, and job seeking skills is on my resume. And when I interview with people and they have my resume, one of the number one things they say to me is, "Oh, you know, you're a really good you're a really good interviewer. You really got this down. I see that you did job seeking skills. Did you place in that? Because you really got it down pat." So those were my events, and I placed in that one. So those are mine.
Right. I haven't done as many events as James has. I really just stuck to one event, and I think that's an interesting thing to look at. Like, are you the type of person who wants to do one event year after year after year, or are you the type of person who wants to try a bunch of different events? It really depends on how much you care about placing, because the chance that you place after doing a competition for 1 year is lower than if you did it multiple years, because then you get more experience with how the judges treat you, you get more experience with how you work with other people, so for example, the team event, and it helps you increase your chances of placing. So those are two things to balance. But in my case, I've stuck with one competition, which was prepared speaking. I think that's the one that James was alluding to. Yeah, the one where they give you a topic, and the topic is usually the theme for this year. So for the people competing in prepared speaking this year, it would be develop a 5-minute speech relating to the theme of unlock your potential. And you would give a theme. Yeah, if you can stick with one event, stick with it and perfect it. So I kind of did that backwards with my competitive events experience. So freshman year, I placed third and I qualified for ILC, but I wasn't able to go. And then sophomore year, I didn't place. Well, I didn't qualify for ILC. I think I did place, but I didn't qualify for ILC my sophomore year. And then my junior year, I couldn't compete because I was running for state executive council. Well, yeah, I think that was the case. So I didn't want to like be two places at once with campaigning and everything because it was super busy last year at SLC. And so I was only really able to compete for 2 years. But I did stick with the same event, and you know, it works out in weird ways. Sometimes you just have different levels of success, which I think is why you should stick to a competitive event for longer than just 2 years if you really want to get good at it. Do it the third year, do it the fourth year, and you never know, you could end up placing at ILC. So it really just depends. And with the kinds of events that we did, which are more like presentation based, more interview based, those are a lot of things that you can work, you know, interpersonally with an advisor, with fellow members to get them to sharpen on your skills. So if you're doing a more, you know, interpersonal related competition, my recommendation would be to sit down with your advisor, sit down with your parents, sit down with a friend, and keep drilling that scenario or keep drilling your presentation or whatever it might be. That way, when it comes time to present at SLC, you've lost all the nerves and you're good to present.
And one other thing that I would say is even now, even though you picked your event, you might have taken a state qualification test, you're really in it, read your guidelines. It's so critical, because what happens a lot for me at least is a lot of members will they'll text me or they'll email me and they'll ask me questions about their event. And when they ask me a question about their event, I've never done their event before. So I'll go to the guidelines and I'll read the guidelines and I'll find the answer there. And I'm like, have you read the guidelines yet? And they're like, oh, no, I haven't really read them. I couldn't really find them. I didn't really know. Your guidelines are extremely detailed for a reason. Like when I was in 9th grade, I didn't fully read my guidelines either. But they're extremely detailed for a reason. It's so important that even now you read your guidelines in their entirety. My thing is, what I'd say, my advice that I give to my members is every single time you're getting ready to prepare for your competitive event, every single time you're sitting down practicing, whatever you're doing, read the guidelines. Read the guidelines. If not in its entirety, at least read some of it every time, because you'll always read something that you missed the time before. And another thing that would really help that a lot of people don't do, print your guidelines out. Print them out so you can write on them, take notes on them, highlight important parts, because every single year people get disqualified or they miss something because they didn't read your guidelines. And when you go to SLC, your judges are going to expect you to know what's in the guidelines. So if you mess something up, they're going to say, you read the guidelines, you knew that was wrong, you know, that's it. So read your guidelines, it's very important.
Yeah, and another valuable thing that I feel like people forget is that your rubric is in the guidelines. Like, you are seeing what the judges are seeing. Like, you get the opportunity to look at the criteria that they're judging you on. So unless you're taking like a knowledge test, obviously your criteria is purely your score. But if you're doing something where, you know, it's like a healthcare display and they're judging you on a specific set of criteria, you know it going in and you know what they're giving you points for, so you know what to attack in your presentation. So keep that in mind, that we try and make it as direct as possible to kind of help you do the best that you possibly can. We don't want to set you up to fail. We don't want to make it harder than it actually is. So these things are resources for you to use. So we obviously exist to help answer your questions. So if you do have any questions about SLC or competitions, feel free to DM us afterwards or to email, contact us afterwards. So with that said, we're going to move on to discussing the match. Hopefully I didn't cut off any of your questions, but if you do have any extra SLC questions, just DM us. So Be the Match is our national service project as HOSA Future Health Professionals. So every single state association is participating in this national service project. So it's a really cool thing to be able to contribute to something on an international level. So it's really exciting that you guys have already started. I think I heard you say that you raised around $100, correct me if I'm wrong, dollars for Be the Match?
Yeah, we raised over 100 from our Chick-fil-A sponsorship night, but overall we have raised over 200.
That's excellent.
Good for you. I think that's pretty high for a lot of the Georgia HOSA chapters, because what's interesting about Be the Match is that there's an online fundraising page where you can actually set up your own chapter fundraising page to take a look at how many people donated, what they donated, and it gives you a little thermometer of your progress, and you can set milestones, you can set one big chapter goal, and I do that with my chapter, and we've raised $65 so far, which isn't as much as y'all, but we're working on it. So it's helped us kind of to see where we're at and where to set our milestones. So just as a review, I'm sure you guys know, but talking about what Be the Match is and what Be the Match does. So Be the Match is essentially a organization that works with patients of blood cancers and other blood diseases and immune diseases. So when you raise funds and you recruit donors for the Be the Match registry, you're expanding the opportunity for patients who have leukemia or other blood cancers to find a genetically matched stem cell donor. So when people join the bone marrow registry, they're essentially signing up to have their stem cells taken to be able to use that as a transplant for someone else who may need it or is in a life-threatening situation where they need someone else's stem cells to help cure their form of blood cancer. So these are really important things, and I know that a lot of people might be saying, oh, well, isn't COVID a more serious healthcare issue to address? But what's happened is because of the amount of funds and the amount of research in the scientific community that has shifted to focusing on COVID relief, a lot of cancer research has become deprioritized because groups like the American Cancer Society are pivoting towards working on COVID research with the facilities that they have. So it is still equally as important that we work to continue to expand the bone marrow registry through Be the Match. So Be the Match has several different goals that a lot of HOSA members don't know about because they work on such an international level. So Be the Match is not only an organization in the United States, it's an organization throughout a lot of different countries throughout the world. And with that, one of their main priorities is to increase the diversity of their bone marrow registry. Because stem cells oftentimes require a genetic match, so someone who has similar genetics to you will likely be a better transplant than someone who has different genetic origins. So that's why Be the Match strives to increase the racial diversity within its donors. So getting more Asian Americans, more Hispanics, more Black donors allows them to expand the pool that they have so that they can provide treatment more equally across the board to different races. So it's really important that HOSA members, because we are such a diverse organization, are especially signing up for that registry when they turn 18 or encouraging their parents to sign up. So those are both great ways that you can contribute to the cause without donating in a monetary way. So how can you as a chapter kind of streamline your involvement? One of the ways that I can actually screen share this one second. Screen share. the ways that chapters are actually able to fundraise for the Be the Match is through Be the Match's HOSA service project page. So you can find this link above, or you could go to the National HOSA website and it's posted there. And you can hit start a page. I don't know if your chapter has already done this, but it's a really cool way to kind of track, like I said, what your donations are and allow your students to donate virtually. So you essentially can just use your Lakeside HOSA email account and sign up there. And I'm just going to take a look at my HOSA chapters. So also within this, you can take a look at the top HOSA chapters. And this is internationally, so you can see kind of where you rank up. So I go very far down. We'll see my chapter. Yeah, there you go, North Quebec HOSA. So if I click that page, it's my own chapter's team page. So our goal is 500. We've raised 65 so far, so definitely working on it. And you can add your own little bio. And we offer points for donating, so you can add that in and say, 5 points for donations or whatever your, tracking system might be. So you can also use this link to join the registry if you're 18 or up. And this helps you to kind of just keep track of things. And I'm pretty sure there's a way that you can copy the page link and you can embed that in your website so that your members can see essentially what you've raised so far, who the top donors are, and it's just a really useful tool all around. So hopefully that gives you a good rundown of Be the Match, what it is and how you can be involved. You can learn more about Be the Match at SLC. We'll have a speaker as a representative from Be the Match tell you more about the cause as well as how you can participate and feel the cause of getting a more diverse, inclusive bone marrow registry that helps a wider group of patients.
I think that's fantastic. And I just want to say a lot of people dismiss the service project because they think since they're not old enough to give, that there's nothing for them to do. But the fact that y'all have raised about $200, I think you said, that's fantastic. Because that's not just going towards, any old thing, that's going towards saving people and children's lives. So I think that is absolutely fantastic. So congrats to y'all on that. I want to talk for just a minute. We don't want to hold y'all up. I want to talk to y'all about maximizing your HOSA membership. This year has been difficult, and one thing that I've noticed is, at least in my school, a lot of CTSOs stopped. Like they don't have officers this year. They're not doing anything. They're gone. If you came to our school now, you would think that we didn't have a XYZ chapter or we didn't have an ABC because they're just not doing anything. And so the fact that y'all are still going, you're still letting your officers do their work, you're still letting your members gain these opportunities is absolutely fantastic to me. And so I just want to remind y'all of the main point of you being a HOSA member. And like I said, the last time I spoke, HOSA is all about, to me, opportunity. If someone asked me to describe HOSA in one word, it would be opportunity. There are so many opportunities, and it's so crucial that you not only recognize that, it's not enough to just recognize there are a lot of opportunities. You have to take them. The first opportunity, of course, the biggest one that everyone sees is to compete in a competitive event. And really, honestly, the way I look at it, the biggest thing that you can gain from that competition is not the medal or the place. That's great. It looks great on the resume. That's fantastic. But the biggest thing that you're gaining is skills. You're gaining skills and you're gaining knowledge from whatever event you do. When I prepared speaking, that helped me a lot with public speaking. That actually was my warm-up to getting on the stage in front of the thousands of members who were at SLC and delivering my campaign speech. So it's all about, the competitive event program is all about gaining skills and knowledge. The next opportunity that you have is to lead. My ring light is huge. I'm so sorry. It looks like 2 donuts in my eye. I'm so sorry. The next opportunity that you have is to lead. And I actually want to give a shout out to Nika, if she's still there, I hope, because she is a candidate to become a region representative. And when she came to nominating committee, she really showed us that she's a leader. And she impressed us. And I know Rima can speak to that. She impressed us very much. So that's another opportunity that HOSA has for you to be a chapter officer, for you to serve on a committee, for you to be a region representative now. That's another thing that you can do now, a state officer, and even a national officer later on down the road. There are so many opportunities for you to step up from being a member and step into a role of leadership. And that's so important because the skills that you gain as a leader in HOSA, you're going to use them again. It may seem small and insignificant now, but the skills you're learning how to work with a team, learning how to lead a team, those are skills that you'll use for the rest of your life. Opportunities to serve. Y'all are serving through the match right now, but there are so many other community service opportunities that you can participate in HOSA. And that's giving you the opportunity to understand that leadership is rooted in service. So you're getting the opportunity to serve your community, serve your state, and with Be the Match, really serve the world. It's giving you the opportunity to connect and network. That's so important. And that's what I love about SLC. Every single year that I had gone, I always made friends. I always made a ton of friends, and I always made a ton of connections. Because that's another thing that HOSA is about. One thing that a lot of people don't think about is all of the HOSA members that you're with right now, they're going to be the health community that you work with. You never know if you're going to be working at a hospital with someone who may not have been in your HOSA chapter, they may have been in mine, but y'all were still HOSA members. So the people that you're with right now are going to be a part of the health community with you. You're going to work together, research together, change the world together. So get to know not only the leaders that we have right now and the professionals that we show y'all at SLC, but get to know each other, really connect. And then another thing, earning scholarships and recognition. One thing that we're going to be doing at SLC is presenting scholarships and presenting recognition for things like the Barbara James Service Award. So take time to, the way I feel about it, when you do something extraordinary, you should always want to be recognized for that. There are some things that you should do and you should be like, okay, I'll keep it to myself. But there are also some and you should want to be recognized for that. And that's another thing that HOSA is great for, recognizing how outstanding our members are. And then, of course, HOSA is a fantastic resume builder. But the thing about HOSA being a resume builder is HOSA does not look good on just your resume saying, I was in HOSA. That doesn't look good. HOSA will only be a resume builder if you are actually participating in it, if you're going to conferences, if you're competing, if you're applying to be an officer, if you're doing your best. There's a difference between HOSA being a resume builder and a resume sitter. If it's just sitting on your resume that I was in HOSA, that doesn't look so good. But it's going to build your resume when you take advantage of all those opportunities I just listed and more. There are more. When you take advantage of those opportunities and really take time to grow in this organization. So, again, I want to give one more shout out to because she was fantastic. I have to give her another shout out. But y'all have an amazing, amazing chapter. And from what I see and from what I've heard so far, just for being here for 30 minutes, y'all are really doing your best to make sure that your members have the opportunity to grow and the opportunity to be the best HOSA members that they can be. And so I'm very impressed. Y'all are an amazing chapter.
Yeah, so props to you guys. You're already doing a great job of maximizing all of the different opportunities that HOSA has for you. So once again, if you have any questions, we don't want to hold you up too much, but if you want to unmute and ask us any questions, we're totally open to that, whether that be about our national service project, about SLC, or about all of the different opportunities that James just mentioned.
James, you guys have any questions?
Also, I just want to remind us, let's get a group picture at the end. It'll be weird because we're not there, but we definitely got to get a group picture.
You guys have any questions?
That'd be so cool.
An Instagram person.
I love Instagram. I really do.
It's so funny to me.
So we have one question, and it's in your schools. So what was y'all's most memorable event you guys had this year besides SLC or FLC?
I can say for mine, one thing that we did actually just now, we did a Valentine's Day project. So we had our members, you know how in elementary school you make the mailbox and you buy Valentines and put Valentines in people's mailbox? Well, we made those Valentines and then we had our members make about 400 of them. And that was enough for the entire staff of our local hospital. All the doctors, the nurses, custodial staff, cafeteria staff, the maintenance folks, the paramedics, office staff. That was enough for everyone. So, and I was able to go and deliver that candy to the hospital. So that's one of my most memorable, because, you know, with my county, it's been on and off virtual and in person. So it's been weird, but it's been a good one because we've been pushing through it, and it's made us stronger.
I'd say I can think of two things. One's one that we already did, and one's an event that we're planning right now that's in the works. So the past one that we just did was doing a Be the Match bingo board with our officers. So essentially we put a bunch of different challenges on a bingo board associated with different dollar amounts. So if you get a $5 donation, you can challenge an officer to, I don't know, show up to the next chapter meeting wearing clown makeup or something like that. Just like fun, humiliating challenges that would incentivize people to donate for Be the Match. So we have people getting pie in the face, we have people doing TikTok dances. It's a whole lot of fun, and I think that's an idea that I hope that other chapters do because I think it's effective in raising funds. So we were at like $20 on our little thermometer, and that's got us to 65. And I know that's a whole lot less than y'all have raised, but it's growth. So we were really excited about that. And then one that we're interested in doing in the future that is currently being planned is a collaboration between our school's HOSA chapter and our school's debate team. So we're doing a sort of informational, educational debate about racism and cultural disparities within healthcare, and really just looking at the difference in patient care for different races and the history of medical racism and how that has played into our current healthcare world today. So I'm really excited to get into that event because it's always a fun thing when HOSA can branch out and collaborate with other organizations in our school, because not only does it make a unique experience for your members, but it allows people from debate to learn about HOSA and to learn about the opportunities that we have, and to get in touch with us on social media or potentially become HOSA members. So yeah, it's always a great thing if chapters can interact with other organizations.
Rima, when you just said that, like I started laughing so hard because when you said tie in the face, I literally imagined tying my advisor in the face. We're going to do that bingo board. My chapter is going to do a bingo board now, even though I'll probably be the one that ends up getting fired in the face.
I mean, whatever works, whatever raises that money.
Right.
All right. Well, hopefully that answered your question.
Are there any other questions? No? Okay, so that's all we have for you guys today. So we're just gonna take a picture really quick with you guys. And then
Oh, you can do this.